So EUniWell is the European University of Wellbeing. It is funded under the Erasmus Plus European Universities Initiative, and we're an alliance of 11 member universities, as you can see here, stretching from Spain up to Sweden, down to Florence and across to Ukraine. We have 11 member universities in the alliance, which together have about 300,000 students and over 50,000 staff members. In addition to our members, we also have 60 associated partners. And we are the only European university that's focused on well-being. And as you can see here, the vision is to improve individual, societal, and environmental well-being through joint programs in research, education, societal outreach, and engagement. What our activities are shaped by our strategic plan, EUniWell 2030, strategy framework and strategy questions, where we have three main focal areas. The first is to become a voice for well-being. The second is to become a European university, both geographically, but also in the spirit of the European Universities Initiative. And the third is to become communities of well-being. A little bit of background in terms of how we're going to proceed for the next 90 minutes. We'll start with some remarks in a minute from the Chief Development Officer of EUniWell. Then we will learn how to use the course catalog that we're talking about today. And then to give us a little bit introduction overview of the different types of offers that are available to you, we've taken 5 of the different offers and having very short presentations on them so you can learn a little bit about what we're doing as an alliance. And of course, at the end, there'll be some time for your questions. So I look forward to the program. I look forward to the discussion and the participation of everybody online. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Professor Beatrix Busse, who's the Chief Development Officer of EUniWell and also the Vice Rector at the University of Cologne. So over to you, Beatrix.
Yes, thank you very much, Graham. I hope you can all hear me. I just need some, yes, all nodding. That's very good. Thank you very much for this introduction, of course, and it is a great pleasure and also a great honor to be speaking today here at the launch of EUniWell's Courses and Training Catalog, which is fantastic to have. And before I start and say a few words about why we wanted to have this, why we're doing this, I'd like to thank the teams who have not only prepared this launch, but also, of course, prepared some of the courses for everything they have been doing to make this happening. This is fantastic. We are at a stage now where we can actually showcase what we have been doing also in the field of teaching and learning, of course, and with this course catalog and training catalog on a number of topics. So thank you for this. Fantastic. It's a great opportunity today to come together across Europe once more in 2024 before this year turns to a close. And as Graham has already said and implied, EUniWell is an ambitious European University Alliance because we are unique in our focus on well-being for our academic endeavors and for the communities in which we live, study, and work. And as you've seen, our strategy framework and strategy questions, which Elodie has posted the link into the chat, we identified 3 focus areas that guide our activities: becoming or the voice for well-being, becoming a European university, and communities of and for well-being. And if we now relate this to the launch of this EUniWell Courses and Training Catalog, I can see how we are addressing all 3 of our focus areas, because if we like to become if not the voice for well-being by 2030, then of course developing content on the basis of our research, for example, on the basis of science, which is the uniting factor between all of our 11 partner universities, and developing content like this has us right on track to achieve this. Our EUniWell Courses and Training Catalog is an important step in sharing education and training offers across the Alliance. And this is a concrete step to become a truly European university. And of course, with some of these offers, we are building and strengthening communities of well-being, as we see here today, with, now I look, 93 people online, which is fantastic to have. So this is already the community that we are creating, that we need. I thank you all for your interest in this. This is a very high moment, very touching for me personally, as well as being in charge of teaching and learning, as well here at the university, but also generally speaking, as I would say, an activist for EUniWell in this position of Chief Development Officer. Now, thanks again to all those involved. EUniWell is launching more than 30 new offers for the first half of 2025. No pressure, it has to happen. And further BIBs and online courses to be added over the course of the semester. So please stay tuned and check what we will continuously be uploading, advertising, and so on. As we're coming together today, connecting across Europe, from, as you saw on the map, Sweden to Spain, we are also establishing communities of well-being locally, internationally for students and staff. And that's very important, our engagement for students, our co-creation with students for these course catalogs, and also in all our learning processes. We've just had a very important meeting for EUniWell as such, and our students tell us what they want and that they want this engagement that we are really trying to foster. Now, I am privileged to serve as the Chief Development Officer of EUniWell, and it is great to be working together on this mission to bring together education, research, knowledge transfer, and citizen engagement under our European University for Wellbeing umbrella and our Wellbeing agenda. Today, I am very excited to get a peek into the course catalog offers. Special thanks to the work of colleagues at Nantes, led by Victor Lecam, and of course, the whole research team and management team there as well. Thanks very much to our EUniWell communication team, and thanks, of course, to all the researchers, academics. Many thanks to all of you for developing these offers. Without you, we wouldn't be anywhere. So I look forward to many of you signing up for these offers, spreading the word, and shaping well-being in Europe with us from a holistic approach where we're not just talking about health and well-being, but also about individual and social well-being, where we talk about teacher education, where we talk about the environment. This is our mission. To have this holistic approach to well-being and to become the voice for well-being. With that, I wish you a very nice time here now and remaining, let's say, about 70 minutes to get to know what, for example, the module on diversity and inclusion in education is about, or that on artificial intelligence, the summer school, the well-being center, the language tandems for staff, for example. All of this will be covered today. And with that, do just enjoy this. This is a prelude to the seasonal spirit that we are currently encounter. And with that, I hand over again. Thank you very much.
So Beatrix, many thanks for your remarks. And I think it was a nice launch into the rest of the activities here today. I'm looking at our count and we're at 99. Maybe we get to 100 by the end of the session. So let's try and do that.
Can anybody be cloned by AI perhaps? So that way we have 100.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do now is turn it over to Victor Lecam, who's the project manager for the EUniWell Center for Learning at Nantes University and has been leading this initiative for the course catalog. And he is going to tell us how to course catalog. So Victor, over to you.
Thank you, Graham, and welcome everyone. Very happy to be here to tell you a little bit more about how to use, where to find, how to apply to the great offers we have now published in the courses and training catalog. So I will be sharing my screen and giving you a few very handy information on how to how to use the course catalog. Here you go. So yeah, first thing I would like to say here is that all 11 institutions of EUniWell have been putting a lot of energy in these catalog. It's been very difficult to agree on streamlining our application management processes, calendars, etc., etc. But well, we managed to agree on most of these very important items. It's still a pilot academic year, it's still a pilot semester. Many things are still being improved, and it's a continuous improving process. But we are very happy about the achievements we got from the past few months. So a few words about the objectives and the, let's say, an overview of this catalog, its ambition. So we, EUniWell, went for one central hub for encouraging customization and internationalization of learning paths and careers. This catalog is open to all EUniWell communities, students, researchers, educators, and administrative staff as well. It's focusing on two different formats. Online learning, of course, as Professor Busse was saying, having a virtual campus from Kiev to Sweden and from Sweden to Spain makes the online format the easiest one. But we're also fostering short, intensive mobilities, especially with the now famous Erasmus Plus blended intensive programs. And we are foreseeing to have more than 35 offers published and open for application throughout the semester, among which 12 short training offers for young researchers, PhD, and postdocs, for instance. I think we have something like maybe more than 20 MOOCs or self-study courses. So MOOC stands for Massive Online Open Courses that can be attended and completed at any time at your convenience. And we also have for now 5 blended intensive programs, short intensive mobilities, Italy, Sweden, France, that are confirmed. But we actually, yeah, that's still a secret, but we'll probably have much more. But yeah. So now let's move to the let's say handy tips on how to use the catalog. So first thing, quite obvious, where to find it. So very easy to find. It's hosted on the EUniWell website. So www.uniwell.eu. In the What We Offer tab, and that's the first thing you'll find courses and training. So that's where you'll find the catalog, and I will be showing it to you. Yep, sharing another screen. Sorry for that. Ta-da. And that's how it looks like. So yeah, that's basically a catalog. We have a few filters to help you browse through the authors. So yeah, target groups and teaching format among others. So yeah, that's basically how the catalogs looks like for now. And we have an FAQ that will be also showing a bit later. And yeah, that's how the like template, the author's template looks like, with an apply button here and all the necessary information that you might need before applying. So let me go back to my presentation now. Here you go. So how to apply? It's quite easy. So first thing to know is that the offers will be divided into 3 batches of application periods. So even though most of the offers are already published and visible on the website, only a part of them, it's about 15 offers, are already open for application. So the first batch of application is starting right now. It will go from December 12 to January 19. Then a second batch of application for other 10 to 15 courses will start in February 3rd until February 23, and a third batch of application will start on March 17 and go until April 6. So we have 3 batches of publication, and of course we'll be communicating at the start of each and every batch to remind our communities about the new courses coming. So yeah, each page, as you saw before, will each author has very clear indication on the application deadlines and the application process. For the vast majority of courses and training offers, it will be possible to submit your application via a centralized application form. So very handy apply button with a questionnaire, quick questionnaire to fill in to submit your application. And after the registration period is over, all applicants will be informed of their application status, should it be positive or not, within the next 2 weeks. So that's the common rules will apply for all courses and training offers next semester. Where can I find more information on a specific offer? Once again, very handy, very simple, at least we hope so. So for any educational offer published in the courses and training catalog, you'll find a downloadable study guide on the authors page containing all the necessary information. So yeah, with no exception, you will have a completed study guide with learning objectives, schedule, teaching material, assessment methodology, etc., etc. That's downloadable on the authors page. And of course, if something's missing, hopefully not, but if you have more question, you can contact your local catalogs coordinator, which list is available on the website too. Another question here is the question of the recognition. So which recognition can I get for participating in EUniWell offers? So this information is also stated in the study guides, of course, and most of the time in the offers pages as well. So for all offers, EUniWell completion or attendance certificates will be issued to the learners, fulfilling the requirements stated in the author's study guide, of course. And so that's about issuing certificates, issuing ECTS credits in some case. Then we suggest students to contact their faculty or international relations offices to get more information on potential means of recognition, meaning how to integrate these learning outcomes to local study path, intra or extracurricular. Yeah, forgot to mention that, but that's quite important. We are also deploying a learning management system at the level of EUniWell, which is based on the Ilias infrastructure. Don't worry. This LMS, this learning management system, is accessible by each and every one of us as long as we have an institutional email address. So our IT experts did a great job connecting our local infrastructures so that every student, every staff, every researcher of our university can access the EUniWell learning management system without having to create a new account or new credentials, which will be very handy. So all online educational offerings provided via the EUniWell courses and training catalog will be hosted on the new EUniWell learning management systems, except from open access courses. But yeah, that's anyway. Open access is also easy to access. And yeah, so very happy to deploy this as well from now on. And yeah, and we also have FAQ that's being just published, but I think we'll come back to that in a few minutes. So I think it's time to hand over to you, Graham. And of course, if you have questions, we have, I think, 10 to 20 minutes at the end of this session to answer your questions. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm handing over to you, Graham.
Thank you very much, Victor. Thanks for that introduction, and thanks for leading. Could you leave that slide back up there? Actually, that'd be great if you could leave that slide just to help. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to switch gears. We're going to showcase 5 of these over 30 offerings that we have, give brief introductions to them. What I'd like to encourage everyone to do is, if you do have questions, please put them in the chat. And as Victor indicated, we'll have some time at the end for these questions. So thank you very much for that. The first education offer we're going to talk about is an OER self-study module on diversity and inclusion in education. And the introduction will be delivered by Sarah Roos and Manuela Ulrich from the University of Constance. So over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Graham, and also great thanks to Victor, Elodie, Lara, and Antonia for giving us organizing this wonderful event and giving us today the opportunity to present an overview with also some concrete insights into the OER we've been creating during this first EUniWell year in the teacher education arena in a very, very collaborative way. That's why I brought with me Manuela today, who provided us in our working group with the academic content from educational science. And I'll try to share my screen now to make this a little bit more concrete. So let's see if this works out. And now, can you all see the slide, the current slide? So this is the first slide of our OER presentation. And generally the content developed within the teacher education arena is linked very closely to the SDG 4 quality education, which aims to ensure barrier-free, inclusive, and equitable quality education, and to promote lifelong learning opportunities. For all these reasons, OER are really a nice format, a good format to help us to achieve these global aims. And for those who may be here the first time of OERs, I'd like to provide you with a definition from UNESCO, from the Recommendation on Open Educational Resources. That says that open educational resources are learning, teaching, and research materials in any format and medium that reside in the public domain or are under copyright that have been released under an open license that permit no cost access, reuse, repurpose, adaptation, and redistribution by others. And for all these reasons, OER are, from our side, a very democratic, inclusive, sustainable, and also collaborative way to create and disseminate teaching and learning materials. So that's the reason why we developed our self-study module on the topic of diversity and inclusion in education as an OER. And here come, as a first overview, some facts and figures. The entire run of the module takes about from 7 to 9 hours, of course, also depending on the individual rhythm and learning progress of the learners. Victor just mentioned that we will also issue a certificate of participation based on passing the final exam at the end of the module. And we hope that in the future, we can also issue EUniWell digital badges for this. It's also important to mention that there's no prior knowledge required for this OER. And as a target group, the OER is primarily aimed at student teachers, but at the same time, it's really also open to a wider audience in education, meaning also in service teachers or other educators interested in the topics of diversity and inclusion. And yeah, diversity and inclusion are, as you know, two very pivotal joint values, also of EUniWell, and in generally important when it comes to tackle the challenges of the 21st century with the aim to establish social justice, equity, peace, etc. The importance of these two terms is represented, of course, in all fields of society, but is especially crucial with regard to our education systems, where teachers are responsible for communicating these values and shaping the well-being of our next generations. And yeah, therefore, well-qualified professional teachers who are able to deal with diverse classrooms and to establish inclusive education are the key to educational and social transformation. And here I'd like to hand over to Manuela.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Yes, the teachers of the future have a key role as multiplicators, and we want to increase teachers' awareness of lifelong learning and give the opportunity to lifelong learning with our OER. We think teachers should be aware of social change and regardless of individual age and working experience because of the change from integration to inclusion. Yeah, here you see an example. I will now give you an insight into what we have actually done and how we have implemented it using some examples of our OER. Here you see the social ecological system theory of Bronfenbrenner. Sorry. Overall, we used a knowledge-based interdisciplinary approach with a broad understanding of the implications of social theories. And in each chapter, information on specific topics is provided via different methods. So first, you have seen the video with transcripts, provide audiovisual material. And we used also models. You can see it here from high quality research papers. And then you can do, for practice, the acquired knowledge interactive illustrations with a drag and drop system. As a further method, we include videos with exercises for reflection. Here is a video about co-teaching as a resource of inclusive classes. We give some tips from literature for planning co-teaching in the classroom. And then you can see a video, for example, and can reflect how is the quality of this watch happen. As a special method, we include also case vignettes. Case vignettes are written by students in my project seminar about school transitions and students' diversity. And yes, here we give an example, a case vignette, and questions how the students, or teachers and teachers react or deal with the challenges we presented in the vignettes. Yes, and then add-on chapter, we added unconscious bias, and this additional chapter on basic knowledge of psychology is included because we want to foster awareness of several forms of discrimination, which are linked to some cognitive human beings, yet that we want to include because we reflect the interdisciplinary nature of the educational science and also want to co-create it with a cooperator from University of Konstanz. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I think we have time for questions maybe in the end, right, Graham?
Yes,
Thank
I
you,
think.
Ila. And I already saw that you put in the link to this module in the course catalog. So thank you.
Thank you very much to Sarah and Manuela for your presentation and your good comment. We do have some time at the end for questions, I think, but at this point we need to move on with the rest of the presentations. So with that, we will turn over to Dr. Zoltan Lantos, who's an associate professor and head of the Department of Virtual Health Guidebook Methodology at Semmelweis University. So Zoltan, over to you.
Thank you, Graham. Good afternoon, colleagues. It's a privilege to provide you our course, and I enlarge my presentation. And we had the privilege to pilot the first course. It will come to an end this afternoon with students from Spain and Sweden. And it has been a nice experience how we are able to work together in the online space. And we have practiced science communication. In the next term, we will provide a course on AI in healthcare, and we invite everybody to create their own AI assistants. Everybody of us can create AI assistants, and I do suggest that everybody of you create your own assistant as well. And we will present and teach the students how they would be able to create their personal assistant, study assistant, learning assistant. On the other hand, personal management assistant is also available. We will concentrate on learning assistant, how an AI assistant, virtual assistant, can support everyday learning practice. We call it LAI. On the next slide, I present our other virtual assistant, the special assistant, Rai, who will be able to provide special outcomes. Image creation, for example, is a specialist assistant, and already this image has been created by Ray, so it's a self-portrait, and we will teach all the students how they will be able to use image creation, video creation, and all specialist assistant. They can create speeches and specific situations. And we have a more complicated AI assistant called Maisie. She's a multitasking agent, and as we have more AI tools available, we have more and more AI agents as well. So they are really multitasking agent. They can reach out different AI tools, and we can organize the complex task as well. And we will present and teach students how they would be able to prompt these multitasking agents. So this is one part of the course that we teach how to create AI assistants and how to use them, especially for learning purposes. The other part of the course is focusing on pattern recognition, which is very well used in life sciences, and we will provide details on how machine learning and neural network can be designed and can be utilized. And here is one example, similar to Shazam. Baby crying can be recognized. This is a pattern recognition tool, and for mothers, it can provide prediction what is the motivation or cause of a baby crying. So if it is hunger or fear or any other cause. So we will demonstrate the background basic machine learning methodologies and neural network methodologies. And although we won't be able to design complex proteins, on the other hand, we will demonstrate the capability of machine learning, how these complex structures can be modeled and predicted and designed. And nowadays, this is available, that complex proteins are designed as well. And these functions are promoted by artificial intelligence. And my last example is related to COVID. This is a nice example how machine learning and supercomputer can be used for pattern recognition. Here, the Bressollette-Bodin storm induced leakage into the lung were modeled and understood why it is contradicted to use ventilation for some of the patients. So we will provide examples how these patterns can be understood, recognized, and we will provide handful details how neural network can be parameterized. We will provide the skeleton of the neural network, and the students can use their database. We will be able to provide database, and they can design the machine learning methodology and solve real life issues, real life problems. And at the end of the course, end of the term, we will discuss all these solutions together, improving the learning experience. Thank you very much. So we will teach how to use data in order to provide health for all European citizens.
It's awesome. Many thanks for that presentation. It's absolutely fascinating. We're going to switch gears a little bit now, move to our colleagues at Linnaeus University in Sweden. We have Camilla Lundqvist and Helena Belfrage talking about the EUniWell's Summer School in Sustainable Futures. So let me pass it over to you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Graham.
Thank you very much
for the introduction. So yeah, I'm Camilla.
And I'm Helena.
And we're going to present, as Graham also said, 2 summer courses that we're going to offer next summer. And both of them are within our Summer School for Sustainable Futures.
Yes, and here we go. I'm trying to share my screen here. And we'll start with a little bit of sound, I hope. Hey, there we go. No, sorry. You were there. Well, thank you. And from that over to the usual PowerPoint format, right? Do you see my screen well now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. So I have an echo now, Helena. I don't know if that's you. Anyways. Yeah, so we just wanted to show you a short video, what you would see or meet if you will come to Linnaeus University this summer. The first course that we wanted to present is called Sustainable Democracy and Governance. And then we will also present the Scandinavian Tourism and Management course.
And both these courses within our summer school Sustainable Futures are hybrid. So they start online, and then we have one mandatory week, which is on site in Sweden. And it's in Kalmar, where most of the pictures in the film were from. They are Erasmus Plus blended intensive programs of 7.5 ECTS and 5 weeks. And the on-site week in Sweden is from June 23rd to 27th. And this blended intensive program format means that our EUniWell students can travel with the Erasmus Plus funding if nominated by their home universities.
Yeah. So the Sustainable Democracy and Governance course. This is a topical course in today's changing political constellations. Regional and local conflicts around the world are changing. Regional and local conflicts around the world are challenging global peace and democracy. And autocratization tendencies are growing. And even if it's too early to define the extent of autocratization, we can see that counter norms to multilateralism and the liberal democratic order are challenging global peace, justice, and well-being. And these are some of the topics that you will dive into in this course. And the target group is students in political science, social sciences, peace development, European and international law, history, teacher education, and any of those other related disciplines. And the course is offered to all students at all levels, from bachelor's, master's, PhD students. Everyone is welcome to apply. And I also wanted to mention that it will also be co-created with the University of Murcia. Taras Shevchenko National University of Kiev will also attend, and most likely EUniWell's associated partner in Brussels, Global Governance Institute. And there will possibly be other EUniWell universities contributing as well.
Well, thank you. And then if my screen allows me to switch, yeah, I'm to talk about the other bit, the Scandinavian Tourism Management course, which will bring together students to discuss tourism in the Nordics from the different sustainability aspects. So it's exploring Nordic tourism and production and management and its diversity and challenges. And it's aimed at bachelor and master students. And what you will learn is about describing Scandinavian tourism as a business and societal phenomenon. It will be about explaining the historical and contemporary development of Scandinavian tourism from the standpoint of general societal development. You will learn to distinguish basic scientific, social, and ethical aspects of tourism, and also describing the development of destination development within Scandinavian tourism, and explain the role of tourism in the context of our different Scandinavian regions. So take the chance to apply for studying one of these courses that will also take you to Sweden this summer.
Yes, and also I just wanted to add, so if you are interested in tourism and well-being, we also offer 2 MOOCs about this, and you can apply for those right now. But otherwise, for the summer courses, the timeline is that the application will open on February 3rd, and it's a second batch. So the application time is between February 3rd to 23rd. And then you will get a confirmation of the nomination in March. And after that, there will be some administrative process at Linnaeus University before you can receive your letter of acceptance at the end of April. So we would like to encourage students that are nominated to possibly book accommodation in advance as soon as possible, because Kalmar is a summer city with lots of tourists.
You want me to continue, Camilla?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So the actual study starts online on the 9th of June and goes on for the whole course period. And we're just mentioning, because the weekend before the course starts, we have Swedish Midsummer, one of our big traditions, so that you can Google before. But it's a nice holiday of ours. The actual on-site event starts on the 23rd of June on our beautiful Kalmar campus, just by the sea on our east coast, pretty far down south in Sweden though, and goes on the full week. We have both joint on-site activities and lectures and tasks, in a lovely mixture. The courses continues online, and the last day is not that it says June 11th, but July 11th. I just saw that little thing of ours. So by that, I stopped screen sharing and see, because I couldn't see the chat meanwhile, and see if you have some questions for us possibly, or we should take them in the end, I guess, right? As everybody else, right? Then thank you.
Thank you very much, Camilla and Helena. And as you mentioned, Helena, we will take questions at the end. We have some time a little bit later for that. So transitioning again now, we're moving to the University of Santiago de Compostela in Spain. And we have Isabel Neira to talk about the Wellbeing Center and PhD training offers. So Isabel, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Graham. And of course, thank you all team for the opportunity to present here our center and especially the courses. I will share my screen, I hope. Yes, no, it's okay. Perfectly fine. The idea is present not only the training is a part of the center, is the opportunity to show you what is the main idea of our Wellbeing Center, because like Graham and our coordinator said, the EUniWell's is a university center of well-being. And for that, the idea is create a center, a Wellbeing Center, centered in this case in PhD students and young researchers. And for that we have working on, is in this moment only working on in a big idea of center in three main areas. One of them, of course, is training courses, because it's the opportunity with the Alliance to share knowledge and to know online and other students, and to have the opportunity to be in contact with all of them in Europe. But our focus is also more than that. It's focused on well-being support for students. No, our objective in the future, and of course our main route, is to have well-being support. All courses should be related with well-being support in the end of the idea, but we are working on work more in deep in this subject. And of course, in the career develop support related to opportunities to labor market, and also for entrepreneurship, innovation, that is also one of the tasks in our university for working in EUniWell's. We are new in EUniWell's, especially me. I only have in 5 or 6 months. And of course, the main important thing is to say thanks all team in EUniWell's is fantastic, but especially Victoria and Sandra from Nantes made this transition easy for us and work together in the catalog of course. Okay. What is the idea of catalog? This is the soft launch in the second semester of 2025, and all course should be synchronous in this moment. And one of the Victor said task is to manage who is these courses, because one of important thing is for well-being support is to have connection with the teacher, or manage time managing, stress, emotions and feelings is more difficult to share online. No? We know that is a challenge, but we are very happy with the University of Murcia that prepared these first courses related with this workshop online with this kind of tax is very interesting, and the idea is that in the future improve and create more courses, more in this area. No, this is the first part, and the data is in second semester, March, April, and the idea is to have not so long the courses, because the students, the PhD students are very busy normally, are focused on their research. Our experience say that it's better to have 10 hours, 12 hours, or something like that. It's easy to find the student for this kind of ideas. The main training courses are related to three areas. Well-being is the bigger one, is the umbrella, and also three modules related to design, research, and data analysis, write and disseminate, and then innovation and transfer. That is last one is related with this one, career development support. More in deep. In the first module, we have a course for 12 hours for Nantes University related with data management. Like Victor said, in the web, you have the all information about in deep of the courses. It's very interesting because for researchers, I'm a researcher, in this moment, we need to share the data, and it's compulsory in the projects and in the journals, share the data, and it's not usual. It's not the most usual in this moment in the academia. It's the present and the future, and we need to manage this and work with our the students in this area. For that, it's very, very interesting this data for manage a successful and good successful for the students. No, the second area is all universities works in this area, rate, share, and disseminate in two areas: effective communication and writing papers. Of course, these two areas can manage well-being because it's very necessary for students to improve this kind of skills and to be more relaxed when present communication and when to have this opportunity of write papers. Especially present is a big task for students, and sometimes create stress and situation that we need to manage and to improve for our students. And for the end, that I talked before, is related with our last task in this center, is related to career development support. We are working on in this area, and to have success in this area, we are thinking in start with the main area that in our university we are working on hard. We have connected some colleagues of the area of transfer in the University of Santiago, and we prepare a module that we are working on in our doctoral school from 4 years, the last 4 years, with success. And this is very, very interesting because it's the students of different areas connect together and create a common project to translate to society the research. Most of our students don't have the idea that the research could be translated to society. Only things into create papers in journals for the career, but most of them have very interesting ideas and very interesting skills to translate to society. Is the idea, and this course could be online, but we are working on to develop more courses in this subject, and also in this one. In well-being support and career development support. This area of trained courses we're working together with Nantes to use the past experience of EUniWell's Alliance and to improve and develop more areas that we think could be improved or developed in the future. And this is all things. And if you have questions, or maybe tell me. Okay, so I need to change my sharing, but
Many thanks, Isabel. That's really interesting, and I think it's a different or different group of potential participants, some of the other offers that we've talked about to date. I'd like to move now to our fifth and final sort of introduction to different types of offerings that we have. And that will be language tandems for staff, presented by Enalco in Paris. And the presenter will be Louise Rigal, who's the arena coordinator at EUniWell's for culture, multilingualism, and well-being. So Louise, over to you.
Thank you, Graham, and thank you very much for the organizers to giving me the opportunity to present this initiative. So I'm asking for screen sharing, so if you can quit, Isabel, your screen sharing. Great. So are you seeing well my screen?
Yes.
So yeah, it's a training program we've been working on for a few months now with Victor and with the Work Package 5 members. So you probably already heard of what is a language tandem, especially if you're learning a foreign language. So in EUniWell's, the language tandem for staff is 2 staff members from 2 EUniWell universities who are learning each other's language and who are paired up and meet regularly via video conference to practice their oral language skills. So there's an example here of an native Italian speaker from the University of Florence learning German, who is paired up with a native German speaker learning Italian at the University of Constance, and they meet to speak in each of these 2 languages. So the tandems are completely autonomous in their organization. It's not a class, it's not a course with a teacher. It's 2 people pairing up and meeting regularly to speak. So why participate in a tandem? Well, first, obviously to practice your language oral skills flexibly and informally with a native or fluent speaker. Also to improve your confidence when speaking in a foreign language. Sometimes we do speak a language at a quite good level, but we don't have the opportunity to speak it regularly with native speakers. So we can maybe feel not very confident, a bit conscious about a level. So the tandem is a very relaxed and informal way to practice a language with someone who is in the same learning journey as you are. It's also an opportunity, and especially for staff members, to expand their professional network and engage with their peers, because you will be connected with someone working at another EUniWell university. And it's also an opportunity to develop your intercultural skills, because you will be exchanging with someone from another country, from another culture, who can give you information about their culture. So the target audience, it's targeted as EUniWell administrative and academic staff members who are learning a foreign language. It's not open to beginners because, well, for a tandem language to be efficient, you need to have a basic conversational level, or else it won't be really efficient, because if you're a beginner, you won't have a lot of things to say to your tandem partner. So if you're learning a language or wish to learn a language at a beginner level, I would suggest that you take a language class or a self-teaching method, and maybe consider a tandem later in your learning development. So when forming the pairs, we will take into account, of course, the language learned and the language spoken by the participants, but also their position at their universities as much as possible, for them to also be able to exchange on their daily work activities, and also start creating communities in EUniWell around work activities. So the objectives of these tandems are to strengthen the language skills of EUniWell university staff, which will support the internationalization of our member universities, because the more staff members speak foreign language, the more staff members will be inclined to engage in EUniWell, engage in European and international projects. Hopefully it will promote staff mobility and participation in European projects. The ideal case scenario would be that you will speak online for 6 months with your tandem partner, and maybe after have the possibility to do a mobility or job shadowing with your tandem partner. And of course, develop peer-to-peer support within the alliance, because if you're paired up with someone who is working in the same area as you are, you can exchange good practices, exchange advice about work, and why not develop collaborative actions. So how does it work? So the first step would be, or at least we recommend, to assess your language level. You can easily find online tools, for example, the CEFR, a self-assessment grid. The CEFR, the Common European Framework of Languages, is the grid, the levels from A1 to C2 levels that I think you are, most of you are familiar with. So it will help you localize your language level if you're A1, A2, B1, B2. If you're A1, A2 level, as I said before, I don't advise that you do a tandem right now. It's more adapted to B1, B2 or more learners. The second step is to fill in the matching form that you will find in the course catalog, and which is now open and until 19 January. We will announce the tandem pairs early February. And then the third and last step will be to start the session with your tandem partner. We will give an online introduction session for participants in February with a teacher who's been working on language tandems. She will give general guidance and tips on how to manage your tandem sessions. We will also provide a participant guide, including session guidelines and self-assessment tools. But of course, all of these are recommendations and tools that you can use, but it's a really flexible program, and as long as you communicate with your tandem partner, you can adapt it as you feel is best for you. In terms of tandem session, we recommend having at least 5 tandem sessions or more during the semester, once a month at least. We recommend having 1-hour sessions, and during 30 minutes you can speak in the language A and 30 minutes in the language B. But again, that's a recommendation. So that's it. So maybe to make this presentation a bit more interactive, maybe I can ask you to use the chat and tell us if you are learning a foreign language right now and you would like to, if you were to engage in a tandem right now to practice your oral skill, what language would it be? Just to have a glance of the potential languages of interest in the Alliance. So I'll start. I'm currently learning Romanian, so Romanian would be the language that I would use in a tandem, but please feel free to share. So yeah, I really encourage you to register if you're in the target audience, because it's a much funnier and more relaxed way to practice a language, and also it's complementary to regular language course and grammar lessons, which can be sometimes a bit more heavy and boring. And how do we apply? In the course catalog, you have a page with a registration form. And what will be the schedule of the session? Yes, so if it's also in the study guide, if you are working, of course, we recommend that you speak with your supervisor to let them know that you are thinking of participating in this program, and to have his or her authorization, of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Louise. And that's basically our introduction of 5 of the different offers. Obviously, there are far more on the website. We'd encourage you to pursue that and look through, scroll through, see what interests you, see what you would need, and see what the background for that is. We do have some time for questions now. So we have about just under 15 minutes. So if you have a question, please do raise your hand and or put it in the chat, and we will follow up on that. So there's a question in the chat that says, are all courses free for participants? Those which are on site, do we have to pay the university tuition fees? Thank you. Victor, maybe you want to answer that one.
Yeah, thank you, Graham. So yes, all courses are free of charge for participants, with one exception regarding CTS transcript of records for the language courses provided by INALCO. So you can access all the content freely, but the transcript of records are free paying because they're handled by an external platform. So that's the only exception we have. And once again, the content is accessible freely. We are only talking about the transcript of records. And regarding the offers that take place on site, here we're talking about short-term intensive mobility, and in all cases, or at least most cases, we're talking about blended intensive programs, which are short mobilities funded under the Erasmus Plus project, meaning that participants, should they be students, PhD staff, can benefit from a grant covering, if not all, most of the costs related to the accommodation, to the travel, and to the living there for 1 or 2 weeks. So yeah, everything is free for the EUniWell communities.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Do we have any other questions from the audience? Okay, one that I've received is how do you handle a selection process? And I think that's probably again to Victor. And of course, please, you can see here the participants in terms of who spoke on courses are here. So if you have a question directly at one of those particular courses we've had discussed today, you can also put that in a chat or raise your hand. But Victor, how do we handle selection process?
So in most cases, once again, it's almost in all cases, but I will say in most cases, after the application deadline is passed, our institutions, we have 2 weeks to nominate, to select our students. So that's something I mentioned, but yeah, we agreed on having 2 weeks after the application deadline. So this process is managed by each and every institution according to their local regulations and practices, meaning that if a course or a training offer has 50 available places for partner institutions, each institution will be welcome to nominate, to select up to 5 students. So basically, Linus University will be handling the selection of Linus students for all courses, and same applies to Nantes University, to Semmelweis University, etc., etc. So all participants are nominated by their own institution. And regarding the selection criteria, of course, I come back again to the study guides. All requirements are also a way to select students. Of course, we will select students that are and learners that are in line with the requirements are stated in the study guide. And of course, we also ask for short and sometimes longer motivation letters, which will help us choosing the right participants.
Great. So we have a question, I think maybe directed to Zoltan. What should be the profile of applicants for the course Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare? Should we have prior knowledge in life sciences or engineering?
Yes, lifestyle and engineering. These are the prerequisites for this course. You are right.
And what sort of level are required in that? Is it, I mean, is there
It's any study in these fields. So knowledge, basic knowledge is required.
Okay. Do we have any other questions from the participants online? Maybe Victor, another question for you. We currently, as you say, we have more than 30 offerings. How do we increase this number going forward for EUniWell? What is the process for those who maybe are interested from an academic side in adding their courses into this EUniWell courses and training catalog? Courses or training offers, of course.
Yeah, very good question, Graham. Actually, for this first pilot semester, we had to regulate somehow, and we didn't want to launch too many offers at the same time, because as we presented earlier, we're deploying a new learning management system that we have to get acquainted with, and we are putting in place all these new processes for the first time. So we wanted to have enough offers to impact all target audiences of EUniWell, but not too many, just so it doesn't get out of control. So there are local catalogs coordinators. You'll find the list very easily on the website. So if you are interested in offering, duplicating, opening one of your course or training offer to EUniWell, please contact your local catalog coordinator, and we will be actually quite soon, next spring, starting to collect offers, proposals for the next academic year. So yeah, that's just the starting point, and we hope to share more and more offers in the next academic years.
Thank you. Do we have other questions from the audience? Either specific or more general towards the courses and training catalog. Okay, so here's a question. It's I think a relevant question. It maybe goes beyond also what's happening at Linnaeus, but also across the Alliance. Can we simultaneously apply to the BIPS Scandinavian Tourism Management and Sustainable Democracy and Governance? And can someone be selected for both? Maybe Camilla, would you like to answer that question?
I don't think that we discussed this, but yeah, theoretically, yes. It's each home university that nominates the students. So it might be that you're nominated to one course, but not the other. So yeah, theoretically, yes, it's possible to apply for both.
And maybe again, Victor, I'll come back to you because I seem to be happy since you're the coordinator of this activity. Can someone apply to multiple offerings across different institutions as well as two at one university, for example? So if they want to do one that is hosted by Linnaeus and one that's hosted by Merthier, is that possible to do?
So yes, definitely. Of course, as Camilla said, in terms of you all learners are welcome to apply to as many offers as they wish. Of course, in terms of selection, we'll be trying to spread the opportunities among the different applicants. So I would say it's quite unlikely that you would be selected to 2 BIPs in the same semester, BIPs standing for blended intensive programs, as the ones organized by Linus. Then I want to share again that we have more than 20 asynchronous offers with unlimited places, so online courses purely asynchronous that can for which there will be no real selection process. So you basically will, if you apply to these MOOCs shared by Linus in ALCO or to the open educational resources resource designed by the University of Constance, you will get access to it anyway. So yes, there are offers for everyone, and you will get access to offers if you apply to these ones. Thank you for your question.
Fantastic. Are there any other questions before we move on? So I will open it up either for in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand, you're more than welcome to speak online. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is move on to our closing remarks, and that will come from Professor Céline Bressollette-Bodin, who is the Vice Rector on the EUniWell board from Nantes University in France. So Céline, over to you.
Thank you, Graham. Thank you, everybody. Do you hear me correctly? Yes. Okay. So it's a real pleasure to be here today and to close this event because it marks the beginning of a new phase for EUniWell. So as you can see from today's presentations, our aim is to offer a range of courses and trainings that reflect the diversity of needs of audiences with teaching methods tailored to them. So this is the culmination of the efforts of all the EUniWell teams in all the partner universities of our alliances, and we are very proud of them. And a very special thank to the teaching teams who have created and who presented their courses today, and also to the Cologne and Nantes teams for the huge amount of work they've done and for organizing today's event. So the next few months will be a pilot phase, but we will, of course, continue to develop and to expand our training offer over the next years. And we will add some new courses available to students, to staff, but also to teachers. So we will, of course, keep you informed about any developments. And EUniWell has an ambitious goal to move towards open education. So let's continue to build our university together in the EUniWell spirit, of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Céline. Thanks for those remarks. And I think it echoes the excitement we share across the Alliance for this initiative, and to broaden the offer, broaden the accessibility, and also continue to grow the different types of opportunities that are available in this courses and training catalog. As you can see, what I'd like to do first is thank all the speakers and participants that we've had today. We had over 100 people joining this webinar, which is fantastic. I'd like to thank Beatrix, Busse, and Céline Bodin for their remarks here. Also, the different presenters from the 5 different courses that we had out of the 30 odd that we have online already. And of course, Victor, for your coordination of this, and the comms team that we had as well. As we look forward, how do we go from this webinar to actually using and taking advantage of the opportunities through this training, courses and training catalog? As you can see on the slide, you can see the address or the web address for the catalog. I'd really encourage you. We will do some advertising across the Alliance, but also please do share with your friends, colleagues, fellow students, and other stakeholders. And for those of you who are academics or potentially developing training offers, if you'd like to propose additional education offers, please do reach out to us so that we can expand this catalog. As Victor said, we're over 30 courses right now. In some ways, we're in a pilot phase, but we will be expanding this and growing this in the future for the Alliance. And lastly, but not least, of course, a frequently asked questions will be shared and available online to address the questions that come up both here in the presentation, but also going forward as we sort of really implement this offer in the future. With that, I'd like to close. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. And we look forward to continued engagement across the Alliance, and also in particular coming out of this event in terms of the courses and training catalog for the EUniWell Alliance. Thank you very much for attending. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great afternoon,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Bye. Thank you.